Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce, and this Inside Lowell podcast is coming to you from the Wellpoint Studios. Wellpoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At Wellpoint, your whole health is their whole point. I am so excited to have our guest with us today. This is becoming a recurring thing,
It
which I
is.
totally
Back
love.
again.
Yes, we have Gerry Nutter. Tell me your title again at the MassHire Greater Lowell Workforce
I
Board.
am a student and business outreach specialist.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Isn't
it's
that
the
nice?
perfect job for you.
It is. It is. I get to work with students trying to find part-time jobs, help them with resumes,
Yeah.
do workshops and job fairs, and try to recruit businesses to help hire students.
Yes.
And the biggest challenge we have right now is finding jobs for 15-year-olds especially.
All right.
Nobody, God bless Market Basket,
Yeah.
because they are the chief hiring for 15-year-old students. Anybody else, because there's so many restrictions
Right.
of what they can. One of the pizza shop owners said to me one day, he said, "Mr. Nutter, I sympathize with you, and it's a great thing you're trying to do. But I can't afford to hire somebody just to work the counter anymore." He says, those days
Right.
because when I was growing up,
Yeah.
you could work at the counter, you could make the pizza, you could,
Right.
now with
Do a
all
little bit of everything.
all the laws and things that the kids can and can't do for insurance purposes and safety purposes, finding a job for a 15-year-old and even 16-year-olds, because
Yeah.
you hear, well, they're always on their phone and they don't show up. The kids that we get are kids who really want a job, and they really want to work, and they will show up, and they will be dependable.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough right now. And you hear business saying, well, we can't recruit, we can't keep people. Yeah, but you're not hiring kids either.
Right.
But the problem with that too is, again, and a different owner said to me, I get a choice. Somebody comes in who's in their early 20s, somebody comes in who's in their mid 30s, or someone like you, Mr. Nutter, who might be around retirement age and just retired and is looking for, 20, 25 hours a week.
Yeah.
Who am I going to hire? Somebody like you who has experience, who I know wants the job, who I know is going to show up, or a kid who I may have to train, who may blow me off,
Or they may be a kid that ends up working for you every summer or throughout the school
Right,
year.
exactly. But it's, the trouble is you get burned, you know, and I've seen it. I mean, I worked with this one student. We spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He'd come every day. I was at the high school, would update his resume. I got him a job interview with a great program, summer program, right? And I get a call from the woman a couple of weeks later who says, "Harry, I sent him 3 emails about, and I text him about coming for an interview. He just blew her off. He found something else.
Yeah.
And instead of responding, "Thank you, but I'm already employed," he just blew it off. So I
Yeah.
get the frustration, and that's going to happen.
Right. I mean, that honestly can happen at any age.
Listen, I've been I was in the private sector for 35, 36 years in the printing industry. I've seen people start in the morning, walk out into the press shop, and then come walking back and say, "Hey, I left something in my car. How do I get it?" Let's just go out that side door there, and they never returned. they just left. They just walked out, and that happens.
Yeah.
I get it. That happens, but you got to give,
Give them a chance.
Yeah, and I appreciate Nita.
Yes, she's great.
Who I work with.
Yeah.
We walked around Lowell one afternoon. We had a nice day in March, and we walked around. We visited the
Did you just
stores.
say there was a nice day in
March.
2025?
In March. It wasn't raining.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today's a nice day.
Yeah.
So.
And but we talked to a lot of the businesses downtown, and they're all nice people. They all have nice little shops.
Yeah.
But they don't need anybody because it's a family-run business. They have one employee, who's usually a family member.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the need. I get it.
So if you are a business and you first think about your first job and somebody who gave you a chance. Everybody remembers their first job. And then if you do have a part-time position available, take a chance.
Oh yeah, I
Take
mean,
a chance on a 15 or 16-year-old, and you can call Gerry and he can put you in touch with somebody eagerly looking for a job.
absolutely.
Yeah,
We're not only part of the job what we do. I work. I should tell people where I
that
work.
would be great.
I work for MassHire, which is part of the workforce board and connecting activities. And what we do is it's a DESE sponsored program
Hmm.
where we reach out and try to work with the businesses placing students in jobs. But we also work with students. We do workshops.
Yeah.
We bring in guest speakers. We do field trips, all with different businesses. And we also bring people in to do 1 day seminars,
Hmm.
some job shadowing, uh, interview skills with the kids. We just had some excess funding that we didn't have to spend, but wanted to make sure we used it. And so someone came up with the idea of some of the middle schools that we deal with putting together like care packages of toiletries and stuff that soaps and
That's
shampoos
great.
and so we're going to be delivering those next week to some of the
Oh,
schools,
that'll be
you
great.
know,
So you have them,
and
give them
and
something
they'll
for over the summer.
either over the summer or for their summer a lot of them have summer
Yeah,
programs, or when they come back to school, especially, these kids will have some stuff that they
yeah,
need, and it's
it's
just a
great.
great opportunity. But we're very fortunate because we have a great partnership with you in the Chamber of Commerce, and we've run a couple joint events lately
Yes,
that I
you
want to
have.
talk about because
Great.
one of them was last week.
Yes,
It
that
was
was so
billed as
fun.
Cocktails by the Pool.
Yes, and that was at the Sonesta Select, which is in Lowell. There is a hotel in Lowell,
There is
over by the connector,
on Industrial Ave.
across from Showcase Cinemas. Well, kind of across,
Yeah, a
but
little bit,
in the
a little
general
further down.
vicinity. Yes, we that was actually a beautiful day too. So we were very lucky that we got a nice
Now
night.
I miss all these great
I know we
outside
missed
of friends
you.
because of all these medical things I've been through lately. But we have some great businesses.
Yes.
Our friends, by the way, just a little free plug for our friends here at Wellpoint, since we're in the Wellpoint Studios. I have Wellpoint as my insurance, being part of the city and the GIC. I have no complaints with the
Oh,
coverage, the
excellent. They're a
service.
wonderful
They
company.
they've been wonderful, and our friends up at Tufts. The people up at Tufts, the
Yeah.
doctors, my doctor, Joe Dulac, Dr. Maserani, who was a surgeon, and Dr. Holmesy, who did the plastic surgery. I just had a couple, as you know,
Yeah.
some pretty intense skin cancer surgery. And everything's good. I'm healthy,
We're glad you're healthy.
but these guys were so fantastic. They were so concerned. It started on May 8th, and I had surgery on the 30th of May.
Yeah.
And that's how quick they processed this because of their concern and it was great working with them and
Great.
getting this done. But, Tufts, anytime we need speakers, anytime we want to do career days, they are right there. We just,
Yeah, we have
uh,
Tracy Meek on the board.
right.
I'm on the board.
You're
So
on the board
that's why
too.
I'm saying we.
Yep. Yep. Another community is Kids in Tech.
Yes.
It is a great
Olu is
program.
great.
She is wonderful. They just reached out to us. They have a couple more openings. We just reached out to some of the schools and said, hey, a couple last minute openings.
Excellent. Yeah, that conversation happened at Cocktails by the Pool,
right,
actually.
exactly, yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. People don't think of like Win Waste Innovation,
Hmm.
right? They think that's a trash company, which it is. But they have sponsored a couple of field trips that we've taken kids. They have a trash to energy plant.
Ooh.
And it is a fascinating trip. You get down there, you see all of this trash being converted to energy. The thing that amazed me the most for this trip that I went on was there's no smell. It does not,
Wow.
everything is all in one room, but the way it's designed and the way it's burnt, there is no smell.
It's amazing.
It
From
is,
somebody who grew up near the dump in Drum Hill.
yeah, it is amazing. It really is, but they're great. They've been great partners with us, the Workers Credit Union, our friends at Enterprise Bank, and you mentioned Tracy Meeks, but we have Lisa Hall from
Great. At
from Enterprise. She's been wonderful to deal with. McGovern Auto Sales up in Nashua, Brock's Farm and Sager Farm out in Drake. Nita and Alex Marsh, who up until the beginning of June was the career coordinator out in Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Alex has left. And that's a big loss for Chelmsford, but a big gain for the University of Massachusetts Lowell.
Oh, good for her.
Alex went to Lowell, and she'll be great up there. I just got to know her this year. All the different things that she did for the kids. Her and Nita were a great combination out in Chelmsford working with the kids, doing so many different programs. But one of the things they did was they did a farming agricultural program last year and worked with these farms out in Drake. And, we're trying to find something like that again because you have some kids who are
Excellent.
interested in
Yeah.
agriculture. And, one of
It's a growing industry. I had to.
You'll be here all day.
Yeah, I will.
McDonald's again. McDonald's, there's more to we are fortunate because some McDonald's in the area prefer 18 or older, but we have a few McDonald's here in the city who will hire and have hired 16-year-olds. And again, when we do job fairs and you call them, we reach out, and that's what we need people for. We need people to come in and do a career day, and all a career day is to meet 10 or 15 kids at a time in a small group and tell them how you get into this business, what you do, where you see the business going, and share your career experience. And that's what we need more businesses to do. And so my summer project is I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Tewksbury.
Great.
I'll be working with Tewksbury High School next year. I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to do, we already have a career day tentatively scheduled for September.
Awesome. Look at you. You're already into the calendar for next year.
The calendar for next year.
That's amazing.
And one of the things I'm going to be doing is reaching out and introducing myself to the businesses out in Tewksbury to not only get them to participate in the career fair, and but to see job shadowing, to see maybe in the springtime maybe do a job fair. Great. If they're hiring, if they're looking for seniors who might be so. But I'll be sending out some letters to some of the bigger companies like Thermo Fisher and Raytheon, but a lot of the other shops, you'll be meeting me. I'll be walking into your place this summer, and hopefully the walking will help me lose the weight I'm trying to lose on top of everything else I'm doing.
Oh my gosh, Gerry.
Lots of stuff. Hancock Associates, surveyors, civil engineers. They are excellent. Continental Pools, which will train kids to be lifeguards.
Oh, that's cool. I feel like that's a great job too for 15, 16-year-olds.
But you know how hard it is to find lifeguards?
Oh yeah, I know.
The city is always looking. Yeah. The city runs a couple of workshops, lifeguard certification courses that if you agree to work for the city, it doesn't cost you anything.
Wow.
So we were lucky enough to get a couple of kids into that program this year. But Continental Pools does the same thing. They'll train the kids, and if they go to work for them, they don't charge them for it.
Wow.
And they have all over the greater Lowell area for kids. Heritage Properties. Can't say enough. They come and they come to the school, and he did a great presentation. It was a handful of kids over at the charter school on Middlesex Street. Yeah. And he did a 45-minute presentation, back and forth, answered the kids' questions, and the kids were great. That's asking awesome. Some really, and he comes to all of our job fairs, always willing to step up for the community and be involved. That's the kind of people we're looking for to get more involved, the businesses. Our friends up at Duville Health and Wellness, the same thing. Mike, the director up there, has been great. They've hired kids. They come to all of the job fairs and all of the career days that we put on out in Drake, out in Lowell High, out at the Vote. These are the people we're looking for, and we want your business to come, and we want to work with you. And you can reach me at Gerard. I love the city. It's so formal. Gerard.Nutter at MassHireGreaterLowell.com. Or just
I'm waiting for it. Or
just gnutter at comcast.net, which is a lot easier. That's my personal email. I'll take you there. And you can call me at 978-866-8561. That's 978-866-8561.
You're channeling your radio host.
Yes, that's right there. The radio.
Yeah.
Radio voice.
And it's we talked about internships and job shadowing, but it can be as simple as going in for an hour to talk about your career.
That's it. That's all we're looking for.
And then you get more familiar with connecting activities with working with Gerry and his team, and then maybe you can add on and expand on what you're doing.
And by the way, it's not Gerry and his team. I'm the new guy.
Well, the team.
I just
the
started
Connecting
in
Activities
November,
team.
but our friend Colleen
Yeah.
and Nita and Kenneth.
Yeah. It's a great group.
It is a real
Yeah.
good group of people who love working with kids and
Yeah.
love putting this stuff on. So it is really a good group. Now, the this was a partnership we did with the Cocktails by the Pool.
Yes.
Tell us some of the other businesses that came to that event for the chamber.
Oh, there were so many businesses. Gemini is a new business in Chelmsford, and they do holograms.
Oh, really?
I mean, the technology is incredible. She's happy to have a group of students come and see the technology.
We're gonna go meet her.
Yeah, you can even go. So they have like I don't even know. I mean, it's a massive machine that does the holograms, but you can go in the room next, right adjacent to that, and you can talk and become the hologram.
Oh, wow.
You could talk in English, and then they can have it translated into a different language, so you are
Wow.
speaking a different language.
That's impressive.
So that's really great. And then you mentioned, businesses like the Workers Credit Union and Enterprise Bank, who are very active members. We had the team from Spectacle Live there.
Oh,
So
very
that's
good.
the management company for the Lowell Memorial
Auditorium and
among other things.
among other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run a few places.
Trying to think of who else. I mean, there were a lot of people there. We probably had 50 or 60 people. So it was a great event.
And you and I and Connecting Activities and the Workforce Board and the Chamber, we're partners.
Yes.
We have a very strong partnership,
Mm-hmm.
not only in doing these podcasts, but doing all these other events. I mean, you were instrumental helping to set up a roundtable,
Oh, that was
a CEO
awesome.
roundtable, where we had about 65 Lowell High kids down at Middlesex
great.
Community College, along with leaders of business and leaders of the city.
Yep.
Because the mayor was there, Vanna Howard was there.
Yeah,
and
that was so
it was a
much
great
fun.
event.
It was
a great event.
I mean, feel like once people get involved, they just love connecting with the students and giving back in whatever capacity you can.
Once they get over the trepidation, because a lot of them are nervous about dealing with high school kids.
Remember, you were a high school kid once. We all were.
But we did a job fair out at Drake High School, and we had like 40 businesses out there. But we did a lot from Drake, a lot of Drake businesses, and a few of them were a little like, I'm not sure. I don't like working with kids. And by the time it was over, they loved it.
That's great.
They had a great time.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it. We're looking forward to do it again. By the way, I have to mention, I forgot one, JDCU.
Oh, yeah.
John Dock Credit Union have been spectacular supporting the Drake Job Fair, Lowell High Job Fair. They're just wherever you need them. They come. They're wonderful. And the new, I know they have a new president over there. I haven't met her yet, but I hear good things, and she's going to keep up the tradition.
Yeah, they were at our event yesterday.
Now let's talk about
was there.
Let's talk about yesterday, because you ran another great event. This time it was out
fun.
It was out in Drake at our pal Mike Kunzler's.
Yes,
4 Oaks.
we were at 4 Oaks. It was our 8th annual Distinguished Young Professional Awards. So this is my favorite event of the year. So at the beginning of the calendar year, we put out a call for nominations, and anyone in the community can nominate a young professional, 40 or under, who is excelling in their work and community involvement and just overall impressive, well-rounded young professional. Yeah. So then once they're nominated, then whoever's nominated gets an application that they have to fill out and talk about themselves. And some of them have a very hard time talking about themselves and, bragging about themselves, essentially. Yeah. And then we have a committee that is comprised of chamber board members and young professional committee members who get together, and we determine who the class will be. So we don't have it's not like a 40 under 40 where we have a specific number in mind, and we usually land between like 14 and 17 individuals. Nice. So we gave out 14 awards yesterday. Hunter Barubi.
That's why I wanted to mention this. Hunter works at MassHire, Great Lowell Workforce Board.
Yes.
He does a lot of our promotional and marketing.
Yep.
And he also writes a lot of grants for us. Yeah.
Yep. So he received an award, but he also helped me kind of co-MC the event as well.
Yeah, he's very good at that.
He is. Yeah. He's awesome. I love Hunter. So it was a really great event. We had about 180 people there to celebrate these young professionals.
And we mentioned John Dock. You had somebody, Rachel De Silva.
Yes.
From John Dock, the House of Hope. Catherine Mello.
Mellow, yeah.
Also, Karen from Middlesex
Yes.
Community College. I just jotted down some of the
Yeah,
names
some of the
that
names
stood out,
yeah.
and some of the businesses that you and I both
Right.
deal with. I mentioned Tufts and Lowell General and Caitlin Rosenbaum.
Yep.
From Tufts. So it was a good, and we had Project Learn represented, Catherine Patino.
Yes. Yeah, it was an awesome event. And, throughout the years we've been doing this, and I'll know some people that get the awards, and then there's other people that I've never met before. And I'm like, these are such amazing individuals. It's just it's a feel good event. It was really, really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the pictures. Their family get to be there.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
the families you could see. I saw a picture of Hunter's parents.
Oh,
And his mom
so
just looked so proud.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's quite an achievement.
It is.
To be recognized by your peers and recognized by your community.
Yeah, it was great. So we appreciated the workforce board being there as always, and loved having Hunter up at the mic with me. You missed me singing Mariah Carey too.
Oh, I did.
I did. I mean, I'm sure you're very sorry about that.
I
One of the recipients.
Considering that you and I have sung, when we were on the radio off air and occasionally on air, people don't miss us, I don't think.
No, one of the recipients in his bio said that he loves Mariah Carey, so I sang a line off the cuff, and then as it came out, I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. Luckily, nobody left. So
there you go.
Yeah, they stayed till the end, but it was a really great event.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great, and that's how businesses can work with the chamber.
Yes, we'll always find a way.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Same as you.
Same as I.
Yeah,
Same as us. Whatever you can do, how much time, whether it's a job, whether it's just volunteering to let somebody come in and shadow you for the day, come in and do a half hour, 45 minutes, and one of us will be there.
Right.
You won't be by yourself. One of us will always be there to kind of help you along. And this year we've extended now. We get the jobs for the high school kids, but now we're doing some career exploration with the middle schools.
Yeah, I love that.
So we were at the Butler School this year. We were at the Robinson School. We were at the Stocklosa School. And next year we've offered the same thing to Dracut, Tewksbury,
Great.
To the other communities that, we're willing to come out and do, a 45-minute. Let me have a classroom for 45 minutes. I love it.
I'm sure they love it too.
I did 6 classes in a row at the Robinson and at the Stocklosa.
Wow.
And the kids were great. The kids were engaging, because you're asking them to fill out an application. I bring market basket applications with me, and it's a lot for them. It's a lot of information that they have to okay, what is my zip code?
Yeah,
that was a big stumper for some of them because nobody writes letters anymore.
Right.
And it's not like they all live in the same part of the city. So we had kids at the Robinson who were from Sunnyvale, but they were also from the Acre, and they were also from the Highlands, because it's a citywide school. And that was, to me, it was really funny that was the biggest question is, what's my zip code?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? But it gave them the experience of filling out an application. And then we were, talking about minimum wage.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to them, I had a girl from Lowell High who was working, but she was working up at the Pheasant Lane Mall. Mm-hmm. And she was looking, 1, to get something closer, but 2, the minimum wage in Massachusetts is $15 an hour. The minimum wage in New Hampshire is $7.25 an hour.
Oh, I knew the minimum wage in Massachusetts. I didn't realize it was that much.
This kid was working 3 days a week.
Wow.
For $7.50 an hour, and her dad was driving her up there and back.
Yeah.
And so she was looking for, but that's the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Now, Canopy Lake, I was sending kids up to Canopy because Canopy, last year, it hurt them, or 2 years ago, it started to really hurt them, that they couldn't compete with the $15 an hour. And they didn't have many workers. They had a hard time. So this year, they're advertising that they're between $15 and $17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you might even get to go on the Yankee Cannonball while you're there.
I think
fringe benefits.
I think they get staffed up, but because they're open today. That's where one of our friends is today with their family taking the day off.
And, that's great.
Yeah, but good. It's it's a good. But that's the huge when you tell the kids that, they're like, really? Yeah. And then you get into, and by the way, when you start working, what do you mean they take out money? It's always great when my kids first got a job and they came home and they're like, wait a minute, what's
I
FICA?
know. You're
Who's
like,
FICA?
now you know how we feel,
Right,
kids.
exactly.
Yeah.
What, because the look on their face when they're expecting,
Yeah.
hey, 40 hours at $5, I should have a check here for $200.
Yeah.
No, that's not how
No, you don't.
you don't. But the kids are learning the stuff, which is great, which is why I love that, we have some banks who work with us and
Yeah,
will come
it's
in
great.
and do this kind of banking education for the kids to give them an idea of, so, we were very fortunate. We expanded this year with some internships here in the city of Lowell at City Hall. So we had a student, as we
Great.
mentioned last time we
Yeah.
were here, we had a student working at the wastewater treatment plant, and he loved it. He wants to do environmental sciences, and they had him, not just doing the engineering stuff, as they had him, right there in the midst of things, and he thought it was great because he got hands-on,
Yeah.
literally
Great.
hands-on experience.
Literally.
Same thing
I
at
don't know
the,
if you want to put your hands on that, but
up at the city engineers department, and we had a student working with the Lowell School Department in the finance office with Derek Pinto and company over there, and she had a wealth of, she loved it, and they loved having her.
that's great.
And we had another student working with Greg Limperis in MIT repairing Chromebooks. And so over the summer, I'm going to work with both the city and the school department, trying to expand those type of opportunities.
Yep.
And let them
Great.
do that. And I do want to mention again a shout out to our friend Alex Marsh, who was out in Chelmsford for a couple of years as a career development officer out there. I'm not sure what the official title, career counselor at Chelmsford High School. She's gone on to ULowell, but she did a fantastic job out there with the students,
Yeah.
offering all sorts of programs, and good luck to her, because that's kind of a loss for Chelmsford and a
Yeah.
loss for us.
Maybe there'll still be some partnership opportunities with you.
Well, there will
Lowell
be,
now.
yeah, and we'll get somebody else out there.
Yeah.
And Nita is committed. She's been out there with Alex for the last couple of years, and she's committed to work with whoever comes
Great.
in. She's
Yeah.
she loves. She is just, every time she's around, she's full of energy, positivity,
Yeah.
and that's what everybody who works there really wants to work to find kids jobs.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
said,
great.
Colleen said to me when I was coming in today, she said, you got to push for the fact that we need to try to
Yeah.
do something for 15-year-olds. And I get it. It's tough. They have a lot of restraints,
Yeah.
of what they can or can't do because of insurance purposes and safety purposes. And you can't, but we got to find something.
Mhm.
We got to find some type of program that we can put kids who really need the jobs and who really want the jobs
Yeah.
to work, you know?
So now's a great time for a company to get in touch with you because it's summertime, so you can talk
right.
about different options and start planning for next year.
Right, which we're doing. We are,
Yeah.
we're all planning what we've talked to our schools, who wants to do what,
Mhm.
have a basic idea. And like I said, Chelmsford and Tewksbury, we've already picked a day for a career day out there.
Awesome.
So we'll be out there. But yeah, again, Gerard.Nutter at MassHireGreaterLowell.com or gnutter@comcast.net, which is a lot easier.
I'm taking the latter.
Yeah, and 978. Yeah, she does. That's where she sends my email. 978-866-8561. That's 978-866-8561. That's my cell number. Leave a message. I usually answer even if I don't know who it is, because I like to talk, as you may know.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Continue these because this is really fun, and I love just getting the word out about all the amazing work that Connecting Activities
Yeah,
is doing.
and
for the community.
what I'm hoping to do as we get further into next year
Yeah.
is start bringing in some students
would be
who
amazing.
have benefited.
Yeah.
And let the businesses and let the people hear
Yeah.
directly from the students how important this program is
Yeah.
to helping them find a job.
Great.
And some of them have started with a company and have stayed with the company.
Yeah, or
So-
have an idea of maybe what they might want to do for a
Right,
career
for
too.
a career now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And I was ready to pull the plug before I was even saying goodbye, but thank you all for tuning into Chamber Chat. We will be back again soon. Thank you.